What's going on, y'all? Nick here, coming to you with another video. So check this out. Tyler Perry has been the topic of much controversy as of late. Now, before I dive into what he said, I think it's first very pertinent to understand who Tyler Perry is and what he has done throughout the black community. Now, in honorary mention, I'm wearing the shirt of the Boondocks. Let's actually see what the Boondocks said about Tyler Perry.
Winston Jerome's story starts with a beautiful, educated, professional black woman trapped in a troubled marriage with a brown-skinned bald dude from Law & Order.
How can you do this to me? Get out. I'm going to marry this white hussy because you are too virtuous and strong and might make me a better man.
Then, a dude who looks like Shamar Moore shows up as the shirtless, light-skinned gardener who just got out of jail.
Excuse me, may I rake your leaves?
At first, she acts like she didn't like the light-skinned gardener, but eventually she gets to know him and sees the sensitive side.
Now, I know that to you, I'm just a poor, light-skinned gardener who can't even afford a shirt. But I love me some Jesus, and I love me some you.
Oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus. I never thought I'd ever be with a man so loving and light-skinned.
And I will always be light-skinned just for you.
Being a good Christian woman, she gives her marriage one last chance because Jesus said so.
I am dark-skinned and bald, so I hate you, and I hate Jesus.
And just when the brown-skinned dude from Law & Order is about to hit her, here comes the shirtless gardener.
Hold it right there, bald-headed dude from Law & Order.
The woman and the gardener kiss, having found true love through Jesus.
Now, when this first came out, I believe Tyler Perry actually tried to sue Boondocks, or he got really upset about this because he thought that this was portraying his movies in the wrong light. And I'm going to just keep it a buck. It did not. This was extremely and sadly accurate of how Tyler Perry depicted, black men within the black community. The black woman was always this damsel that needed to be saved. You know what I'm saying? And he made it really tough on dark-skinned brothers such as myself. Now, I'm joking. I didn't have no issues regarding women just because of Tyler Perry. But the point that I'm trying to say is that there was a lot of stereotypes that he tried to promote within his movies. And he made millions, if not billions, on, promoting these stereotypes. Now, here's what makes it interesting because, recently he came out with another video talking about how black women need to lower their standards. And it seems like he made a complete 180. So let's check out what he actually had to say.
Listen, a lot of women, especially black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I will. In our society right now, black women are making a lot more money for the most part than black men, right? There are a lot of black men who are successful, but for the most part, black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job, and is a good man, and is good to you, and honors the house, and honors his wife, and does what he can, because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill, as long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff, you've handled the light bill, babe, you can take me to dinner every now and then, that is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So it's fine if the dude could just pay the light bill. Now, again, I don't even think what he's saying is wrong, but it's just very ironic considering all the movies that he has pushed out throughout the years, right? And mind you, let's keep it 100. Do you think he's convincing any of these modern women today? Do you think he's successful at convincing all these women that put a lot of stock in their careers and earning a degree? All right. He has more.
But that's so hard for a lot of people to take in because that means, no, I need somebody they need to make 5 times more, and I got to have, well, go on, keep your list, baby.
Yeah.
God bless you. Hope it happens. Go on, keep your list. But when you talk about just someone to love you and support you, I know people whose men can't touch what they make.
All right, so you heard what he had to say. Now, this is what's so funny. You can see in the comments, there's this one user by the name of CC Pansy, the light bill, question mark. Been there, done that, never again. 594 likes. You have Shanice Walker, OMG, 80 likes. You have this one dude, Jay Maximus. He is setting the scene for the next trash ass Tyler Perry production. All right, so you even have men coming against this. You have Alicia. I thought this was very interesting. Nah, see, then y'all be wondering why black women don't date black men. ... Like step up. Okay, so you can kind of see the sentiment. I'm surprised that the man actually agreed with this, but you can see the sentiments of the women. They're not trying to hear this at all, right? And the overall sentiment is that black men need to step up. All right. Now, this is what I find interesting because, again, I mean, I'm sure I'm not going to say anything that you haven't heard before, but many people believe that women, especially today, their standards are entirely delusional. Entirely delusional. Now, the reason why I want to present this because I actually stumbled upon another YouTuber by the name of Neka C. Oni Loafer. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correct, but she had a very interesting video that is actually going pretty viral, and it's called The Reasons Why So Many Black Women Are Single. In parentheses, her advice went viral. I want you guys to check this out because I think this is an extremely enlightening video.
A lot of the time I realize that other cultures kind of get this. I need you to hear me. Other cultures tend to get this. And when I say other cultures, I'm talking about white culture, Indian culture. I'm talking about other cultures other than African Americans. And a lot of the time what happens is you're mistaking the playboy for a husband and you're trying to marry a playboy instead of marrying a husband. And that's a lot of women don't realize this. A lot of women don't realize this. And this is why you continue to have such horrible dating experiences, because you could be sitting there ignoring the husband material, ignoring the man that is already put you in his forever category.
You know, AKA women fall for the Ray Ray and Pookies. You get what I'm saying? That's who they fall for. They always want to deal with the Pookies. They never actually, you know, they will say that they want a husband, but the actions definitely speak otherwise.
A man will sleep with you, hang out with you, Netflix and chill with you, and you are not his type at all, but he enjoys the sex, he enjoys your company, he enjoys the fun. And now as a woman, you've put this type of man into the husband material. They looked at the playboy and said, he just wasn't the one, he wasn't faithful, he wasn't ready to settle down. But Rebecca, as a matchmaker, I want you to find me the man who looks like Mr. Playboy, who wants to be loyal and faithful to me and committed to me, and find me my husband, but I want him to look like Mr. Playboy and act like Mr. Playboy. And that's when I stopped matchmaking.
Over the years, there have been a lot of black women who help black women who have decided to actually stop helping black women. So I'll give you some examples. Iyanla Vanzant, who had a show called Fix My Life. Many of you have watched this show. She started getting death threats from people. Some of them, I believe, were black women. You know, some people, particularly black women, didn't like her coaching style. So she stopped serving in that capacity as far as her show on the OWN network. April Mason, who was recently on the Dear Future Wifey podcast, she is a femininity coach. And she had an academy where she was helping black women, I believe individually, coaching them, and she stopped. She didn't want to do it anymore. Rebecca Lynn Pope, who you just saw a clip of, she is a content creator on YouTube. She's also a coach. She teaches courses, more so around, I would say she does more so life coaching. She doesn't outright say it's because of black women, but she implies this by talking about women and their unrealistic expectations, and then also talking about other women in other cultures not having the same expectations that black women have, right? So these are 3 examples of coaches who have stopped helping black women.
So apparently the overarching theme is that, there have been people in times past that actually try to help black women, but apparently they do not want to receive the message. Or rather, they wish to crucify the messenger. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they do not want the help. And I don't know what it is, but a lot of times, again, because of the feminist, movement, the women empowerment movement, a lot of these women, they rather, just seek a career. They want to chase after the almighty dollar. And just like Tyler Perry said, you might meet this man who probably has a regular 9 to 5, but because he doesn't meet the standard of making multiple 6 figures, 5 streams of income, whatever you want to call it, he's not this alpha by her standards. This man is a scrub, and he's just tossed to the side. And, this has bred systematic oppression for black women, because now all you have is a bunch of black women complaining that there aren't any good men. And black women, for the most part, they like to date within their culture, right? But they're not finding any black men that meet their standards. So what is it? Is it that the black men are not capable, or is it that their standards are too far-fetched, is in the realm of imagination?
Relationship coaches are giving up on helping black women because of our unrealistic expectations. And again, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't have standards, but we need to be asking ourselves, can we bring, to the table what we're asking for and more?
And you're blinded to all the red flags, right? That he's really not consistent. He's already showing you he's not into you, right? But then here's the key, guys. This is when I stopped matchmaking. I've told you guys this before. I stopped matchmaking because I had a different standard for men than I realized that a lot of women had. A lot of single women have these standards that are crazy. And I met my husband, and when I was matchmaking, I realized that the women, my female clients, would have not even given my husband a chance. They wouldn't have dated him. Because my husband is a good man, a solid man, right? A strong man. I mean, my husband, but literally, it was like I realized that's not what a lot of these women are looking for. And I've done videos about this, about how women and their expectations of men have gotten so ridiculous.
Yeah, they're not looking for that. They're looking for the Pookies and Ray Rays. And, I want to touch on the red flags that she mentioned, women, right? And for you men, please chime in the comment section down below as well. But this is my personal belief, right? If you're dealing with a man, one of the biggest red flags that you can see, right? You could discern from a mile away. If this guy has no intentions of meeting your parents, he is not the one. He is not the one. If this man is talking about getting inside your pants and this dude he doesn't talk about marriage, he is not the one. If he is talking about being with you, but he doesn't ever drop the fact that he wants to make you a wife, this man is not the one. I don't know how much I have to say this, but again, a lot, even the Bible says it. These women are silly women laden with sins. In other words, deep down inside, these women have these lustful desires, their damn selves, but yet they want to just blame it on the man so they could be victims.
And
I think Rebecca Lynn Pope is spot on. When she talks about other races or other cultures, and how they're socialized, it is very rare for a woman of another race or culture to make comments and say that, I can do bad by myself, or, I have my degree, I'm good, In my experience, women, again, of other races and other cultures seem to understand the value that men have in their lives and just in the world. And this is kind of ingrained in them from the time they're born, right? Whereas black women, I think oftentimes many of us are socialized. We're socialized to think that somehow education can serve as a placeholder or can serve as a substitute for a man, for a partner, etc. And this can be a very tricky space to navigate with black women. You know, many of us are very accomplished in our careers and we're trying to navigate dating. We hope to, one day become married. And many of our jobs, in my opinion, incite and encourage us to become more masculine.
Facts.
And I'm going to be doing a video about how, as black women, we can protect our femininity. That's another video. This video, I want to mainly just focus on and highlight and really reinforce what Rebecca Lynn Pope stated. It's absolutely true. We get the categories completely confused when it comes to the men that we are interested in. And my mom actually told me this, so shout out to my mom if you're listening. I remember there was a point where my mom made a comment and she said, you need to stop focusing on who you like and focus on who likes you. And that's as it relates to dating.
That's a very good point. I mean, at the end of the day, the Bible is very clear. It says when a man finds a wife, it's not when a woman finds a man or a woman finds a husband. It's when a man finds a wife. A lot of times these women have these expectations of who they want to show them interest. But truth be told, no. That man is going to find you, the woman. You know what I'm saying? Now, indeed, you could choose whether or not, you want to be with this man. But then the question is, are your choices, how have they served you in times past? I mean, because it seems very clear to me that in times past, I'm not talking about all, but majority of women, especially today, it seems like, 80% divorce rate? So you clearly are choosing wrong. And even when you do choose this man, the man is still the one that's going to determine. A woman may determine who she wants to date or whatever the case, who she wants to deal with, who she gives access to her, private parts. But the man is going to be the one that determines if there's going to be a marriage.
And women have a tendency to go from one of these relationships to the next, to the next, to the next, because all you're going off of is who you like and who you're interested in. I'll tell you this, ladies, it almost doesn't matter who you like. It doesn't matter if you like them. Who likes you? Who's into you? Who is seeing you as you're there forever? Because like I say, as women, we get to choose who to date, but men choose who they marry. The man's putting a ring on it, not the woman. It does not matter who you like.
And I think this is something that a lot of black women are not told. It was a big light bulb moment for me when my mom shared that with me, and she was absolutely right. But I think many black women don't learn this until later in life. Many of us who do actually get married, some of us tend to get married later in life, myself included. I'm not even married yet. So, and I think that there is a need for the femininity coaching. And I know that some people are getting tired of it because every time you go on YouTube or any social media, you're seeing, videos and various things pop up about femininity. But understand that this is an area that black women really struggle with. There is a process by which, as a black woman, to have a successful relationship and especially to have a successful marriage, oftentimes there are things that you need to unlearn. And, there are ways that you need to navigate your relationships differently. And I just wanted to highlight that. I wanted to show that clip. The clip went viral when Rebecca Lynn Pope posted that. The video that you saw was 3 years ago. It went viral. and understandable, because she really nailed it. She really nailed it when it comes to who you date, or who you marry, or who you even just invest and spend time with. It's really about looking at the character of the person, their integrity. There's so many things. I think many Black women look at looks, look at height. Those are not the most important specs, so to speak.
They're not important at all. They're not important at all. I mean, if there's a totem pole or a hierarchy of what's important, I mean, all of those things is just the flesh. And the thing is, again, those who walk in the, if you of the flesh, you're gonna walk in it. But those who are in the spirit, they're gonna walk in the spirit. You see, the thing is, if you look at the spiritual, nature of a person's character, how temperate, how much patience do they exude? Are they able to actually know how to balance a budget? Are they great leaders? Are they good with children? All these things that doesn't speak even remotely of a person's height or their skin tone, or how much money, I'm saying, how much money they make. And truth be told, I mentioned budgeting on the budget. I mentioned how to budget your finances. Just because a person makes a lot of money, that doesn't mean they know how to budget. I mean, there's a whole bunch of, football players, basketball players, they get money so early on in their lives, and then they give them a couple of years after the league, and then they're dead broke. God damn! You get what I'm saying? So it's not all about money. It's what is this person's character? And this is what all these, if you want to call them dating coaches, relationship gurus, whatever the case may be, I don't consider myself any of that. I just stick to the Bible. But the point being is that, this is what they've been saying for years. But yet, a lot of women in this particular video, Black women, a lot of them don't want to hear that. Again, they more infatuated with just the physical aspects of a relationship, the very surface tip of the iceberg aspects of a relationship. And that's the reason why these women, a lot of them also just wasn't trained to even be wives. Like, I don't think there is even a process by which, older women, just like the Bible mentioned, would actually teach the younger women how to actually be wives, how to actually love their husbands, to guide the house. You get what I'm saying? To how to be nurturing. They're not taught these things. Not in this society. They're taught to go to school. They're taught to get a degree. They're not taught how to actually manage their home, how to build a house like a Proverbs 31 woman. They're not. And,
also in response to this thing about choosing a man, I like what she said. Women choose when it comes to dating, men choose when it comes to marriage. And we all know, well, for many of us, marriage is the goal. Now, I've heard women say, particularly Black women, say that marriage is not the goal. So my question is, if marriage is not the goal, what is? If you're dating and marriage is not the goal, then, I'm curious what is. But yeah, so ultimately, I've said this before on my, and got some feedback from a viewer when I talked about men choosing. That's what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about a man choosing, I'm talking about marriage. Unless you want to be like Chrissy from Love and Hip Hop and propose to your boyfriend. We see how that worked out for her. Okay, so unless you want to be like Chrissy and propose, in most cases, the man is choosing whether or not he wants to marry you. Now, yes, you can choose in terms of if you want to date him, of course. But,
and let me just make this, because I literally did a video about this recently. A man is not going to choose you unless, if some of you women are not going to want to hear this, but unless you actually exhibit pick me. Yeah, that's right. Pick me characteristics. If you don't have a pick me characteristic, he's going to bypass you. I know a lot of you will be so bougie and be like, how dare I lower myself to be a pick me girl? Well, you better start learning. You better start learning. You better learn how to start saying the right things, and it better all your statements better be accompanied by the necessary fruit, action that shows that you actually want to be a wife. It's not just about the talk. And again, a lot of people may not want to hear this. A lot of people think They want to sit on their high horse and they think they're too good for it because, again, all these degrees, right? You have all these letters behind your name, BA, PhD, this, that, whatever, right? So you think you too uppity, you too high to actually lower yourself, to actually submit to a man. But unless you actually exhibit, like I said, pick me characteristics, this man ain't gonna pick you. He gonna look by, again, like we said in the beginning of the video, I mean, he'll bump and grind with you. He'll have fun with you, right? He'll Netflix and chill with you, but you're never gonna actually meet the goal, which is to actually get married. But you heard her, marriage is not the goal for some of these women. So then if that's the case, what is? Why waste all this time? Waste your youth, waste your prolific years of being able to childbear. What's the point if marriage is not the goal?
I think that it's really about who likes you. It's really about who's into you. Because if you like a guy and you're interested in him, but he's not interested in you, then there's going to be a major imbalance. And this is why love is such a rare find. Love is a rare find because of the very fact that both people need to be invested in each other. And I'm not talking about money, but I'm talking about honesty, vulnerability, character, integrity, all of those intrinsic values. Can we bring all of that to the table and more? And most of us, when we talk about what we bring to the table, it has to do with, sort of external things or superficial things. Like, oh, well, I bring my degree to the table. I bring, my career, my money, my car, my house, those type of things. But really, when you're considering what you bring to the table, how much honesty do you bring to the table? How much vulnerability do you bring to the table? Those are the questions.
All right, so she's right. But let me just add this, because again, a lot of times women just don't seem to get it. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. Are you going to submit? That's all you really need to bring to the table. Are you going to submit? Are you going to allow that man to be the man? Are you going to allow that man to be the leader and the head of his house? It's literally that simple. 9 times out of 10, there is a power struggle. And you cannot have 2 heads. There can't be 2 people that are leading. There's got to be one. Now, unless you're a demon, right? And, hey, laugh if you will. But unless you're some 2-3-headed demon, right? Everybody only has one head. Everybody has one head. So we can't have 2 people trying to make the decisions. And like I said, usually it's a power struggle, because when you have 2 people that are trying to lead, they're going to bump heads. And then that's when the voice comes into the picture, right? And then here's what's also very ironic. Even if men, which a lot of betas tend to do, they tend to make the women lead, and intrinsically and biologically, women are not even designed to even desire such a man, because they actually do want to follow. So then when they saddled up with a man who doesn't know how to take lead, the voice ends up being, the voice ends up happening any damn way. So you damned if you do, damned if you don't. The only solution is to stick with the Bible. Let the man lead. Anyway, I would love to hear your comments down below. What did you think about this video? Did you think that this woman, Nika, as well as Tyler Perry, do you think they were dropping facts? Do you believe that the standards of some of these women is far too outrageous? Or do you think it's within the realm of reality and that men, black men in particular, just need to step up? I would love to hear what you guys think. Anyway, with that being said, Nick over and out. The message sent. Jesus is King, y'all.